Hello friends. An essay of dramatic poesy by Dryden. We have been discussing that. We saw the introduction, we saw overview to clarify things, and our third lecture was on was the first person who started Critus, isn't it? Critus listing the excellencies of the ancients. And then our fourth lecture and fifth lecture we saw that is Lycidas praising the French, and now we have got the Eugenius. Eugenius is well born, the meaning itself is well born. He is listing the defects of the ancients. See that started with the excellencies of the ancients, now defects of the ancients. Now that is, I told you, it's a kind of monoid now. Yes, and then you have got the merits of the moderns. Now, before that he says, what is the criterion? What is the criterion for praising or listing excellencies or merits, listing the merits and so on? He says like this, that praise or censure is certainly the most sincere. That praise or censure is certainly the most sincere. This is the criterion for judging, you see. Most sincere, which unbribed posterity can give us. Which unbribed posterity can give us. So next time when you protection. And next time, say now for example, 21st century here, when we look back now, whether we can give an unbribed praise to those people, the 17th century, 18th century and so on, that is the criteria to see, judge. That is what this is, no? That praise or censure is certainly the most sincere, which unbribed posterity can give us. So if posterity emulates you, Longinus. Same theory, that is, we are directed by the past, but the present should directed by the past, and present should alter the posterity. If the posterity is unable to alter, then that means what is it implies that the ancients were excellent people. Understand? Their excellencies were greater than ours. But if we change, then there is a difference. I hope you got that point. So now what happened? This is the criterion for praising or censuring. Now afterwards he says, Eugenius lists defects of the modern, half a dozen defects he says. First one he says that the Greeks, they did not know how to divide a play into acts and scenes. That's first one. So acts and scenes, division not known to the ancients. Point number one. Division not known to the ancients. And we had to depend upon, to say whether a scene changes or act changes, we have to depend upon the chorus, singing of the chorus. But that is not the case with the moderns. Shakespeare's plays, very clear, no? Yes, act 1, scene 2, act 10, like that. So he says, Aristotle has only 4 divisions. One is the protasis. Protasis means entry, the entrance of the characters. Then next one is epitasis. Epitasis means development of the growth of the drama. Means development of the drama, to complicate. Then catastasis. 1, 2, 3. Catastasis. That means the development The Romans called it status, no? The height or the full growth of the plot just before the reversal. That is catastasis. And the fourth one is catastrophe. Catastrophe, or the French called denouement. So here catastasis, the Romans called it status, and this is the name given by Romans. And catastrophe, the French gave the name denouement, denouement, or the unraveling of the plot. This is the division given by, this is one of the defects pointed out by Eugenius. So how can we give unbribed, how can they get the unbribed praise of the posterity? They cannot, because these are defects. Think of the other one. The first one we began with whom? Crisis. Listen. So this is point one. They did not know how to divide the play into acts and the scenes. We had to depend upon the chorus. Okay. Now the second one is, there I say that their plots. Second is about their plots. Their plots all drawn from known stories. Known means K-N-O-W-N, known story. So from Thebes or from Troy. Oedipus, Hercules, Medea. When you say Oedipus, immediately the whole story comes to you. There is nothing, there is no suspense. We know Oedipus, so by mistake, by a tragic error we can say, he kills his father and marries his mother and commits incest. Then coming of the ghost of lives, there is a plague, oracle, see that? And there is a lamentation. These things are known. The moment you say, Oedipus, you know it. And Medea, you know, the most cruel. Hercules. So he says it is like the Italian mode of building houses. According to Italian mode, Italians, it is said that in this that Italians, their house is all you can see through. It is like the house, each and every part can be seen. You can see that is how they make their houses. So the plots of these ancients, nothing new, no suspense. Toward the end of the moment you hear the title of the play, you know, this is what is going to happen. Understand that? So it's dull and boring according to Eugenius. How you present it is a different thing. Understand? So that is the second defect. So that is known stories, plots drawn from known stories. So he says we can have one Oedipus, we can have one Hercules, we can have one Medea, M-E-D-E-A, Medea. So on the other hand, suppose everybody is dealing with that. What is the fun? It's no point in this. Understand that? That is the, so that's a novelty. You can guess. The moment you hear the title, you can guess it. Italian mode of houses. See through them all at once. You can see through them all at once. That is the second one. So what is the first one? First is, ancients did not know how to divide a play into acts and scenes. We have to depend upon the chorus. Understand? And the third is, he says that the characters. Third, there is imitation of nature in character. Imitation of nature means human actions. But they don't imitate the whole, but they imitate only eye, it's a part of it. Sometimes it is the eye. It is like the blind seeing the elephant. The blind touches the leg, they also like pillar-like. Understand? Like this. Only part of it. So it says they don't have a whole vision. Sometimes they imitate only, it is like imitating an eye only, eyes of that character, or the ears of the character, or just the face of the character. Understand that? So what happens, their plots are narrow. Development of character, problem, almost very little is development. Development is very little. See that? So therefore what happens is that there is imitation of nature in character, but not, you don't get the whole. Usually part by part and part by part. So that's the third defect is this. Imitation is there, characters are there, but very few characters. And then you have got what is, it is like imitating an eye, only partial. That's we get the partial imitation, not the whole imitation, partial imitation. So what is the first one? First one, the Greeks did not know how to divide acts and scenes. Second one, that depend on chorus. Second one, plot, known story. And third is character is imitation here, but it's not whole but partial imitation. Okay, third. Now the fourth is, the ancients did not know about the unity of time and place. Fourth one. No knowledge of unity of time and place. They did not practice this also. Example given, they say Terence, Horton Timorumenos. It took 2 days. Horton Timorumenos. Terence, Horton Timorumenos. Horton means self-punishment. Timorumenos, self-punishment. Took 2 days. Even Euripides, such an excellent dramatist, did not keep the unity of time and place, because they did not know it. Aristotle had to lay down only one unity, it's unity of action. Now this unity, knowledge about unity of place and time, we get from the French, moderns, Eugenie says. And that we have already seen what Lycides says about that, isn't it? Yes. So this is Terence, and Euripides also. See that? And fifth point is, remember all these points, no? Fifth point is that they fail to delight in instruction. Fifth, fail to delight in instruction. That is, there is only, according to Horace, to use the words of Horace, there is only utile. There is no dulce. Only utile, no dulce. Because he says that their way of presenting is not at all, it doesn't give any pleasure to the audience. Because already we have seen why. What is the reason? Plots are known. Imitation is partial. Now again you delight at first. It's not possible. So fail to delight in instruction. Okay? Because things are known. And the sixth one is, we are saying sixth point is that they present wickedness, prosperous wickedness. What is prosperous wickedness? It's totally against nemesis. Poetic justice. Nemesis is that the wicked should be punished. Here you see on the stage you will find media committing all sorts of repulsive, horrible acts. But she is guarded by dragons. What kind of thing? She should be left to be punished. Instead she is guarded by, so here the wicked, prosperous wickedness we say, instead of poetic justice or nemesis. Oh, that is really, it doesn't, in that case, we can say that the ancients failed even to instruct. Because if you see such a the kind of thing, then what will happen is you feel like doing the same thing. Because you can do anything and at the same time you can be very prosperous. Means you will be protected, as in the case of media. See that? So half a dozen reasons he used to the listing the defects of the ancients. So which are those reasons? Once again you can see, say the Greeks did not know how to divide acts and scenes you had dependent upon chorus. Secondly, the plots are drawn from known history. You can have one Orestes, one Oedipus, or one Hercules, or one Medea, but everybody is doing the same thing. What is the fun of it? That's no point. The characters are imitation of nature, but not only partial. The characters don't develop. And then fourth, you have the unity of time and place. They don't care. And they fail to delight in instruction. And the sixth and the last is, they are presenting prosperous wickedness. Repulsive scenes. Lust, revenge. See that? Ambition, unbridled ambition, revenge, lust, cruelty. As you can see, the Spanish tragedy, what a horrible picture of human life is the Spanish tragedy by Thomas Kidd. I mean, that is an imitation of Seneca. The Senecan tragedy it is. See that? So Seneca was, of course, a great dramatist and he wrote great plays, etc. But what he presents is a repulsive scenes. You don't feel, there's no soft passion. In sweeping contrast with this, we can say. However, is the reasons why he says that we cannot give unbridled, we cannot praise, the posterity cannot praise them. Posterity means we, that is Lycea, means Eugenius. He is the representative of the posterity at that day, not now. Says that basically he says that praise of censure is certainly certainly the most sincere which unbridled posterity can give us. So we cannot give unbribed is not unbridled posterity can give. So we cannot give unbribed posterity, means praise to them. We are the posterity, we cannot give. That's what he says, because of half a dozen reasons. Then he lists the merits of the moderns. He says that, see, for one thing, we have got a better understanding of the world today. That's one. Moderns, they have got a better understanding of the world today. Think of the BCs and think of 17th and 18th centuries. How far we have traveled. Human race progressed. So the moderns made use of that in their place. So they imbibed modern ideas. For example, I'll tell you one thing. It's of course late in 1920s. That is T.S. Eliot presenting the story of the drama of the typist and the small land agent's clerk. See that scene, you remember that in T.S. Eliot. In part 3, yes, Fire Sermon. So you see, such a picture of modern life. How could these great writers, Euripides, Sophocles or anybody, they could not present it because those days there were no typewriters. Those days there were not land agents. So you cannot show that. The commercial relationship, commercial sex. They cannot even think of such a thing. They could not even think of such a thing. But moderns can do that. Why? Because of the development of, we can say, development or devastation of civilization and better knowledge of science, techniques, for example. Modern techniques can be used for presenting a play, which they could not do. Lighting arrangements also. So, moderns have profited quite a lot from these new inventions, new developments, new culture, new ways of thinking, new ideas, new ideologies and so on, which they could know. So that's one thing. So better understanding of the world. And these people have made use of it. And another thing, the second point is that today tragedies and comedies are written by same person. It can be a defect, or you can say no. You can think of, because the French say that is the most ridiculous thing. But there are people are like Ben Jonson also. He wrote not only tragedy, but Shakespeare. Not only tragedy but comedies and tragic comedies also. So that's an advantage in that way. So these days, moderns, they write, there is no airtight suppression, no compartmentalization. So both tragedies and comedies are written by both tragedies and comedies, written by the moderns. That is an advantage. And then, when you see Seneca, see, tragic scenes in Seneca, etc., repulsive, you find the soft passion in Shakespeare and Fletcher. This soft passion you can never expect in a play by the ancients. Soft passion. So third is that soft passion presented by passion. That is a plus point or a merit. See, look at this. Othello is raving, but you don't feel, you cannot even, in your wildest imagination, you cannot say it is a repulsive scene. You feel compassion for it. Compassion for it. See that? So this is one of the greatest advantages of modern theatre, he says. What merits of modern theatre, not advantages, merits. See, the dying Hamlet, his words to Horatio says, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than that are dreamt of in your philosophy. There is heaven and its environment, you can say. See, the dying, but what the words that he speak, it arouses kind of pity, softness, a soft feeling towards Hamlet. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than that are dreamt of in your philosophy. Who would not be moved by that? Transported, Longinus, sublime. Those are sublime scenes. Seneca you will find tragic scenes, but they cause repulsion. For soft passions, the moderns, they should be given credit. One of the excellencies. Scenes in Fletcher, scenes in Shakespeare especially, you will find them. So these are great advantages. Excellent scenes of soft passion. Even you see, when you are, when Shylock is cursing himself, cursing everybody, still you don't find any repulsion. Listen, sometimes you this anti-Semitism in Shakespeare is causing a problem. We think like that. Otherwise, no, we don't feel any repulsion. So this, they could never do it. And now, of course, we can say, for this that we know how to divide acts and scenes. Fourth one, we can say acts and scenes division. Acts and scenes division. Then soft passion, both tragedies and comedies. And we can say embellishment of language. In Shakespeare, the highest, the acme, you can say, the highest points. Of course, that we can find in ancients also, therefore we don't want to say that. We will not say that is excellencies. Excellent. But merits you can say. But these are merits. Clear merits. What more you want? You have got tragic scenes of soft passion which you don't find in the ancients. And then we have a fifth one, you can say the plot. it plots. Plots are not non-stories. That's because it's a Macbeth, can you think what is happening to Macbeth, and also it changes it now. You can't say that Macbeth, then there is witches, then there is the Birnam wood is walking and things like that. You cannot expect. Those things are created by the poets. There may be that story somewhere, the nucleus of the story will be there, but it has been developed in a different way. Isn't it? And the moderns, they have succeeded in utilize at the dulce. That is, see, when Iago is taken away, your moral sense is satisfied. Such a fellow, cruel fellow, is going to be punished. So that is, I think I have already, the other way you can say, the other side of it you can say, the wicked are punished. Wicked are punished. Yes. So we have got half a dozen plus one reason for this, for the excellencies of the moderns. And of this, the most important is that of soft passion. So we can say, we are better understanding the world and better knowledge, explosion in knowledge. These things are being used by the modern writers. Both tragedies and comedies, these writers are writing. There is no watertight or airtight compartmentalization. Tragic scenes are, they create soft passion in you. Action scenes are divided. Well, clearly, plots are new plots. Some of them are created, some are of imagination, some are from folklore, but still the drama is developed in a totally different way. Understand? The plot. And the characters are fully grown characters now. The Macbeth, Hamlet, King Lear, Othello, they are full, not partial. Not eye is imitated, not face is imitated. So that also you can say as an additional point. So whatever defects you have listed, you can turn them into excellence in the moderns. Now therefore, now in the 20th century, what happens is, Shakespeare, what do we do? That praise or censure is certainly the most sincere. We are giving that praise to Shakespeare and Fletcher and Ben Jonson and so on. We are praising that is unbribed. We are the posterity, we are praising. But we are unable to praise the ancients. This is what Eugenides says. I hope you see the two sides of the coin. Eugenides is very logical in that way. So you can remember this. Unities, of course, we cannot say, because Shakespeare doesn't care for unity. The vintage tale, idiots it takes. And the historical praise of Shakespeare, it doesn't bother. 40 years, 50 years of events compressed. But the thing is that so imaginatively it is treated. The treatment is so imaginative that we don't bother about time, lesson and action. That's the difference. Listen. So imaginative treatment of the stuff, that's also important. That's also you can say. So we can give unbribed praise. We the posterity can give unbribed praise to the moderns. Moderns means now we can say those days, but we cannot see Elizabethans for example. That modern inverted comma, not we moderns. We moderns is different. But they can do it. Why? Because of the merits. And we cannot give unbribed praise to the ancients because we have listed half a dozen defects. I hope that you are following me and you are enjoying my classes, and hope it is useful to you. That's my point. Enjoy and be useful. Let it be useful to you. Alright, fine. So we have got 2 or 3 lectures more. Obviously, we will take a Pope as a critic. Alexander Pope as a critic. Till then, bye. Have a nice time. Enjoy.